So when I first got into figure collecting, one of the companies that I was very interested in was Figma, particularly their Max Factory line. I really liked how clean uh, and aesthetically pleasing their figures were. But I ended up stopping buying them because they were very they were very similar to Bandai in that they're both all plastic 1/6 scale figures. And Bandai has other things, but they're SH Figuarts figures. That's basically what it is. But Bandai would do a lot of licenses for properties that were popular outside of Japan, whereas Figma really seemed to almost entirely stick to figures that were popular only in Japan. A lot of figures from things like mobile app video games that I never heard of. But a lot of characters that really didn't have reach outside of Japan. So I stopped buying them. But I got these figures. Well, I'll start with one, but I have another that I'll show later. And this is not a character from a video game or anything. This is actually from a series of art books called Bunny Suit Planning. And I don't think that this character in any way has a story. It's just a bunch of art books, you can look them up, Bunny Suit Planning on eBay or whatever, and find them. So it's kind of futuristic sexy girls. So this is Sophia F. Shirring. She is product number 530 for Figma. And it's really neat. Very detailed. It is all plastic. Some of these pieces look almost metallic, but they're not. And it is the reason I'm using a stand for this one is because this figure does not stand very well. It is clearly form over function because her weight distribution is not very good. Her feet are rather small. And I think that, now using it pegs into the back there. I think now using it, I've begun to learn to appreciate what stands can do. And so she's kind of in flight mode. But it's a really neat figure. The ears are somewhat translucent. You can see through them. The Figma figures have a very nice, clean design. Now, one of my issues, if I had an issue with the Figma figures, it's the fact that Figma seems to have no interest in experimentation regarding their design. So it's like all the figures are the same. Bandai has a lot of different designs. These are very simple shoulder articulation, simple knee articulation. Every Figma figure I have is basically the same articulation, the same design, except with different characters. The balance on this is also not great, so I kind of have to put a little bit of weight back here because she kind of wants to fall forward. But I like the color shading, and like I said, this is a very rare Figma figure that I have bought. And I do have another Sophia Shirring, which I will be also showing later. And there is another figure coming out called Veronica Sweetheart, which looks pretty neat. But I like the blue, I like the white, I like the gray. So it just was very appealing to me. I like the color shading in here. It's a very nice design with a lot of detailing, and I think this looks very nice on a shelf. So she's got her glasses on. There's alternative hair with the glasses up above, and then you have alternative faces. So we have a bit of a worried face. Put her a little bit back here. We have, I guess, kind of a smiling stern face, or maybe devilish face, laughing face. So these would go with this one. So the face on here currently has the glasses on the face. And she has some really neat, very clean extras. So this is some kind of sword. Actually, I think, no. She's got a gun, another gun, a smaller gun, and there are some extra hands, which I'm not going to show, and then a kind of a surfboard. I'd have to figure out whether it's possible to have her displayed with the surfboard in the stand. I'm not sure. Here's a little bit. Well, this instruction manual is more than I thought. Actually, I need to go through this. I have never opened this up once. But now, the Japanese are really good about instruction manuals. I got to tell you, as much as I love Mezco, they are really not very good when it comes to instruction manuals. They have no interest in telling you anything more than the bare minimum. And sometimes less than the bare minimum. So this is the box. It's a very nice box. Now, the other reason that I did not get into, or I got out of buying Figma, is because a lot of these figures, for a 6-inch all plastic figure, they are not cheap. This figure was about $110. I'm not sure I paid that much. It might have been less. I got it off of Amazon. I'd have to check to see what I paid for it, but they are not cheap. And I think that Figma, for whatever reason, seems to have a fairly high markup. But this is a rare Figma figure I own. Well, I own other ones, but one of the licenses that they do, although not a lot, is some Nintendo characters, particularly Link, and those are nice. And I own like 3 or 4 of them. But this figure is not a license that I knew of. I don't own any of the Bunny Suit Planning books. I'm probably not planning on owning any of them, but I think it's a really neat looking figure. And so, I got 2 of them, and I might get a third one. There's a third one coming out in 2025 of a different character. So that is Sophia F. Shirring, product 530 from Figma Max Factory.